Oh, hey everybody. It says that I'm live. And I don't know if that's true because I don't have any way of checking. So I guess I'll just talk for a little bit. Oh, I can see two little blob people in the corner. If you're here and it's working, feel free to drop a comment saying hello and who you are. And if anything bad happens, like my microphone falls over or my tripod or everything sets on fire, let me know because I might not know that. Yeah, hey everybody. I'm just gonna start off by saying hello. It seems like a really good place to start. Yeah, kids, this is tough to just talk into a microphone and into a camera, but I can do it. So if you have any problems with getting online, definitely let me know. Like drop me a message some way. But hopefully, I've got some people here for my party. I'm calling it a party because this is Corona. It's really just me sitting alone in my living room. But I am wearing a Christmas jumper, and I do have a mince pie. And I didn't eat it yet because I'm a bit nervous, but I'll eat it afterwards, and that's how we'll know that Christmas has truly begun. So I'm going to chat a little bit. This is my first EP, and I didn't know what it would be like to make an EP. It turns out it's kind of hard. So I for some reason decided that the perfect time to record the EP would be the same time as I am moving house. And both of those events are quite difficult, but nonetheless, it really came together. So what we're going to do today is a kind of live listen along event. So if you have Spotify or if you've already bought the EP, that is wicked and amazing. If you haven't bought it yet, but you wanted to buy it, now is a really great moment to do it. Because what we're going to do is we're all going to press play on one of the songs together, have a little listen, and I'll have a chat about each song as we go through. So without further ado, welcome to a Very Handpan Christmas live launch. Yay, I'll just clap myself. It was so fun to put together this EP. I did it because I love Christmas. I think it's kind of cool to not like Christmas. I think it's quite fashionable, but I'm not cool and fashionable that way. I don't know if you can see, but just out here I have a Lego Christmas calendar, advent calendar. We really love advent calendars in this house. Just today my housemate had to tell me that I don't deserve to buy another Christmas jumper because I already have 3, and I think that's cruel, but nonetheless I didn't buy one. So I really love Christmas music, and I think there's songs, and one way that they haven't been done is on the handpan. So playing handpan's been a passion of mine for about 5 years, but during the lockdown, it's really become something that I've brought to the forefront of my work as a freelance percussionist or as a musician generally. So I wanted to bring those ideas together, and I had my housemate Boris Laban, a brilliant producer, recorder, recording engineer, who was like, "Yeah, I can help you make an EP." And suddenly it wasn't this far off idea that I could do if only I had the resources and the time. He was like, "Yeah, no, I can help you." Well, he's French, so he said, "Oui." And so we did it. I went up to the studio upstairs in his bedroom, and he had his microphones, and we recorded, and we played. And it was really prompted because I just got this new instrument, I'll show you. I make a called Celestial Sound. So this handpan has so many notes on. Because something that can be kind of limiting with the handpan is if you only have 8 or 9 notes, you have to play the notes that you have available to you. But because this has so many underneath, I can really do loads of sort of big harmonies, which hadn't previously been available. So I started off writing out an arrangement. I'd already done a couple of arrangements. I did Lean On Me, and I did a Beyonce cover because everyone needs a Queen Bee Beyonce for handpan. And so I was thinking, all right, so I'm going to make an arrangement which is totally playable by me, where I'm playing the melody in one hand and the harmony in the other hand. And then I have a handpan teacher, Dan Mulqueen. He's wicked, and he actually did some of the additional mixing on the track. And he said, why would you do that? You don't have to be able to play it. It just needs to sound good for the record. And I was like, that's wicked. So suddenly now I was making this multi-tracked EP with lots of different versions of me playing different parts and song them all together. And it was like there was a limitless possibility, and it was slightly overwhelming. So The first track that I did was Silent Night. And this is kind of what started off the idea of Christmas EP being something that I could really do. So I just love the simplicity of the song. I love that it's really a beautiful, beautiful tune, very Christmassy, very well known. And I think it works really well on the handpan for those resonant notes. And I found the process of arranging stuff for handpan really fun, because you are limited by 17 notes I've got on that instrument, which is a lot. But when you think of a piano with like 88, it's not that many. And so I wanted to have the tune in the bottom, I wanted to have the tune in the top, and I wanted to have a more kind of chordal sound. So if you're all ready, I'm slipping into proper workshop leader mode. So everybody, if everyone's ready, they've got their thing. No, but if everyone is ready, let's get your Spotify up or whatever. I'll play it out loud through my speakers, but you'll probably get a better sound if you play it in whatever room you are. And we'll just have a listen through to Silent Night. And I'll try not to make too many cringy faces of having to hear my own work played out loud. I feel like it's bad form to clap your own music, but yeah. Thanks for listening through that one, and it was really fun to make that handpan music, and right at the end where I wanted that sort of slow down, we've done it, and I was like, no, I want to have a big kind of choral ending. So we had that slow down at the end, and Boris was like, oh, why is your music always got to slow down and speed up? Because it's classical, Boris, it's classical. But we had a bunch of fun making it in the studio together. And I've got my very first live stream comment. Rob said, hello, Rosie. Hey, Rob. Hey, Pam. Hey, everyone there. If you're watching here, feel free to write a comment on here, because then I'll feel a bit less like a mad person talking to a wall. So feel free to just chip in with anything, thoughts, what your favorite song is, what your favorite Christmas song is. It doesn't have to be on the EP, but any favorite Christmas songs would be great to hear from. But yeah, hi Rob, and hey everyone else who's watching. So the next track on the EP was We Three Kings of Orient Are. or We Three Kings of Leamington Spa, or something much ruder, depending on where you're from. And that was the last edition that I actually added on to the EP. It was already going to be 4 tracks, but I just wanted to have a more. I think that song is a really good Christmas song because it goes from like super slow choral, and it's got this kind of like medieval tonality, but then it's just got a banging chorus. So I wanted to add that one in at the end as well. And I was really pleased that it came in. And so as I said, I've been having handpan lessons. Because I went to music school for years to get more percussion lessons, and I never had a handpan lesson in my life. And I was out here suddenly like, oh, I should keep learning. I haven't completed music. I should definitely keep on learning things. So yeah, my teacher Dan, and we were just talking about doing covers of songs, and he was like, the great thing is you don't have to like show off all over a Christmas carol. It's these really like beautiful sounds. It can be a really still sort of sonorous thing. And I was like, yeah. And then I added in 2 extra verses at the end of this where I just riffed off in a completely different direction, doing this like whole kind of weird, like jazzy take on We Three Kings, which was so much fun to do. And we just kind of like looped the track around. I just tried a few different ones. So this is definitely my most sprinkle of ego coming in with a little jazzy ending, not letting the Christmas carol speak for itself at all, but maybe in the opening as well. So yeah, that's it. So many more comments. My mum, hello Rosie, loving your EP. Thanks, mum. I'm pleased. And my little sister said, hey sis. For a while, my sister called everyone sis. It was really confusing, but she tells me that now I'm the only one that gets called sis. So hey sis. And Pam said, love the Silent Night vibes. So if you're ready, let's queue up the next song, which is We Three Kings of Orient Are. I'm going to give it a 3, 2, 1, and we'll push it all together and have a listen. 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you. Thanks for listening and watching. And Pam said, just love those three kings. I know there are some other lyrics about sitting on a box and it exploding, but I've completely left my mind. Sat on a box of dynamite. I don't know. So if you know those lyrics, please someone remind me what they are. We three kings, one in a bus and one. I don't know, something about explosions. So obviously I was thinking those words through, trying to channel explosions and scooters and cars while I was playing. So then the third track, In the Bleak Midwinter, this is the one that I just released a video for. So I took my housemate Laurie to a local green space and sat in a tree, which was harder than it might. Well, maybe it seems hard. Sat with a hand fan sitting in a tree, but we didn't fall out, which was kind of key. Yeah, and so he watched it and he filmed it for me, which was really cool of him. He's a good egg. He does a lot of very helpful things to me. And that was that. I think I don't want the other Christmas carols of the world to get offended, but I think In the Bleak Midwinter might be my favorite Christmas carol. Big claim. And there's two versions of it as well. There's the Holst version, which is this one, and then there's the dark version, which they're both so good. It's just such a good tune. So if you don't know which one I'm talking about, if you don't know the dark version, have a look for that one day, because it's just a really cool different arrangement of it with the same words, the same poem by Christina Rossetti. And I'd already played this song a few years ago, actually, I think wearing the same Christmas jumper, which is why I do need more Christmas jumpers. But I'd originally played this on the Rav, which is my tongue pan. So I sort of knew that it would work. I knew that it could kind of work. But I really got to beef it out a little bit more. And in this, I used another technique of using really, really soft sticks really, really lightly. So right at the end of the song, you can hear this kind of like whoop, 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 and Boris, but like really, really quiet. So it just thickens out. And every single sound in this whole EP was all just me and a handpan. And I used this handpan, apart from two notes that I borrowed from my Midori handpan as well. So those slightly clashy notes that aren't quite in E major, you can hear because they're in D minor, you can hear them clanging against it. But yeah, so listen out for the mallets in this one. And let's play In the Bleak Midwinter. I'll give you the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. you. I think in most creative processes there comes this kind of this arc of like, yeah, this is a great idea. I can definitely do this. And then, oh my gosh, this is a terrible idea. What on earth am I doing? Why did I think I could be creative? And then it kind of comes back up again, and you're like, okay, no, this might be all right. And listening to the finished version of this track was my kind of, oh, okay, it might be all right. Because you're sitting in this room, you've played the second, you're trying to listen between which of these two notes sounds better, but they sound the same. And it gets so kind of heavy and really sad. When I was making, I was working with my friend Joe of my ensemble Bubikiki. When we came outside to listen to each song, we called it the sofa of shame, because you're just listening to yourself like, oh no, I'm full of shame and badness. But then it means that you get to you suddenly have this moment where you're like, oh, okay, maybe this is like not terrible. Maybe this is not terrible. So listening to that track was my maybe this is not terrible moment, which was good to reach, because it was a very weird time that I was downstairs kind of packing up all my boxes and trying to desperately clean the house, and then running upstairs and trying to make this music, and then sort of going between the two. But we did it. And actually, my mum also has written out the words, "We three kings of Leamington Spa, one in a bus and one in a car, one on a scooter, beeping its scooter, smoking a fat cigar," which is what I was groping for desperately. So thanks, Mum. And Tess has arrived on the scene, and she's written a lot of comments, which is classic Tess. We love that. And someone said that they found me via our mutual friend Amy. So hello, welcome to the live stream, everyone. Moving on, Christmas is not Christmas without Jingle Bells. So much so that I nearly called this Jingle Pans. Oh, and in fact, most of you know that my struggle to name this EP was long and drawn out and difficult, but we've got there together. Thank you, everyone whose opinions I asked. Sorry, thank you all. So yeah, the Jingle Bells, it's a classic. When you're a percussionist, you stand at the back of an orchestra like this, like ching, 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 playing Jingle Bells. And I nearly put them on this track as well. But in the end, I just wanted it to be all handpan sounds, so only handpan sounds. So the Jingle Bells minus the bells. Sorry about that. And I was really, really inspired by steel pans for this. So the handpan looks a bit like a steel pan, but turned inside out, and it totally comes from the same world. So the way that they do these like very calypso arrangements of well-known songs was something I wanted to totally borrow. So it starts off straight, and then it gets swung, so it goes a little bit. It's got kind of different timing, and this has the ending, which just it kind of just, you know, when you're like making a cake or actually decorating a Christmas tree, you're supposed to be tasteful, and you stop at some point. Well, with the last couple of bars of this, I just kept on putting more and more things and just putting on more to get this like big like bells, kind of tubular bells sort of ending. So it just makes me smile. So let's have a little listen to Jingle Bells. Give me the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. I think I really have to give a massive thank you to all my housemates who've kind of ever lived with me, really, because they had to hear that so many times when I was practicing it. And I went in the kitchen of my old house, and Gordon, my housemate, was just whistling. And we just looked at each other. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, because it really does get stuck in your head. And obviously, I had to play it wrong a lot of times, just play it right one time. So this is just a mass apology to anyone who ever has to live in the same house as me playing a handpan. But yeah, it's just fun. I really enjoyed that one. And I think Christmas is, there's so many different emotions come up at Christmas, but like campy and silly and joyful really has to be one of them. So I was really glad to put that one in there. And then finally we come to my last song, the last song on the EP, which is Oh Holy Night. And this is another of the reasons that I was so kind of inspired to make this, is working with the singer, Nicole, one of my friends. And we decided we were looking for a song to do for handpan and voice. And because of the limited range, it has to be in E major. It means it's quite hard for singers to find the right song. So I'll always come to my mates and be like, can you sing this song? And they're like, no, Rosie, it starts down here. I can't do that. Could you sing it? Like, could you play it higher? And I'm like, no, I can't. It's stuck in that. So we were sort of searching around to find a song that would work really well together. And this was before even Christmas was floated as an idea. And we stumbled on Oh Holy Night as one that worked really well. And then as Christmas came around, we were like, let's put it in the EP. So it was wicked to work with a vocalist, Nicole came, and so this is Oh Holy Night. And when I was writing the like EP notes and stuff, that's when it occurred to me that people have written all of these songs. I don't really know where they came from, but like, does anyone? Okay, I wanted to do a Christmas quiz, but Laurie wouldn't let me, basically. Does anyone know who wrote Jingle Bells? Or does anyone know? Because I had no idea that someone had written Jingle Bells. Anyway, Holy Night was originally a French song. And obviously you can just Google, but that's cheating. But yeah, so they were originally created by people. That's a real aside. Obviously, all songs were written by someone and composed. But I just know they just seem like songs that are kind of always there, like in the ether. But they're not. They were composed and arranged by me. So for the final time, let's get up Spotify, whatever you're listening on, and we're going to do the countdown for Oh Holy Night. 3, 2, 1, go. The stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. The world will sing and never find so peace in the soul felt beautiful. The thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, or hear the angels' voices. Oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night, oh, oh night, when Christ was born. Oh night, divine, oh night, oh night divine, oh night divine, oh night, oh night divine. That's it. That's the EP. Oh, I did it. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching and listening through this. I've got a few questions. If you have more questions, pop them in the chat, because we've got facility for a bit of to and fro, back and forth. Firstly, Pam coming in with the real lyrics to Jingle Bells. Jingle Bells, Batman smells, Robin's flown away. I mean, I thought it was Robin's laid an egg, but up for debate. Batmobile has lost its wheels, and the Joker's here to stay. I do know a ruler version, but that's a good version too. Thank you, Pam. And in answer to a question about talking about Jingle Bells, I'm an orchestral musician. I trained in orchestral music at Guildhall, and since leaving a few years ago, kind of moved into different worlds, hand percussion, pop music, and different bits and bobs. But it's been really fun. This has been and it's been such a process to get here. So I've learned so much. Turns out making an EP is kind of hard. I think people might have known that, but I definitely learned the scope and the scale of putting one of these things together. And I had to learn so much about making it get to Spotify or get to Bandcamp or whatever. But that was a really good learning process. Obviously, Boris, I've got to give a massive thanks to Boris Levant. We came up with the idea over a chat, and he was like, "Yeah, we can definitely do it." So he helped me completely to produce it. To Dan Mulqueen, who did additional mixing on it. Naomi Jackson, who I went to uni with and did the mastering job on it, which is a thing I didn't even know it was a thing, but that's what you have to do to make music go from stuff you record to ready for the internet. So she did that. So thanks to her. My auntie, Lucy Bergonzi, she did the artwork, and it was so cool. She was like, "Just, can I get a picture of you playing the handpan?" So I went and sat and took a picture, and she just turned it. If you can see that picture anywhere close to you, that silhouette of me, it really is me. And she also did that design, which you can see in pillow form, cushion form behind me. So she's an amazing illustrator, artworker. Check her out. People that I just need to thank: Laurie, Tess, Alison, and Izzy. So many people everyone, as I said, that I've bounced names off. Thank you. Sorry. Amy Naylor, who listened through all of my tracks and said, "This is okay, you can share it with the world." You should definitely do that. Celine, Becca, I'm just naming my friends at this point. So, a bunch of people, obviously my family. Thanks, guys. I'm all fans. And all of you who stuck around for a whole 36 minutes of me just talking and making you listen to the EP in your own house. So if you've got any more questions or comments or thoughts, feel free to pop them in the chat. But honestly, thank you all so much for listening. If you haven't bought it yet, and you want to, the best place, I think, for me to get the most money is Bandcamp. Everything else, all the other platforms skim off a bit more. But that said, if you want to put it on, if you want to get it on Spotify and just play it again and again and again and again and again, that's great. Or Apple Music or Amazon or anywhere. But I really appreciate all of you playing it, sharing it. If you do, send a little video of you dancing to hashtag a Very Handpan Christmas, or anything that you want to do is wicked. But thank you so much for listening and watching me talking. And I'm gonna eat this mince pie, and then I'm gonna go and drink some mulled wine, and then I'm gonna drink some prosecco, because my EP is finally out, and it's been such a fun difficult, fun journey to making it, and I just get to relax and enjoy it. So thank you all so much for watching. Thanks, Pam. I'll pop some links in down. My mum's just pleased about the scenery. She's pleased that she gets to see my new flat. That's a story. I was blocking so much view of it. And I'll put some links in down below as to exactly where you can buy the EP if you want. In fact, I'll do that right now. And the magic of talking and typing. This is like that bit on Zoom where someone has to be like, is the screen share working yet? But I think I can write a comment. Yeah, so that's Bandcamp. So you can see it up on there. So if you want to buy it, probably there, or on Spotify just by searching it on Spotify. So thank you all so much. I'm going to end this stream, but it was really good fun. And it was quite fun to do the stream, actually. I might do some more one day, but I might actually play some handpan and not just talk at you. Anyway, thanks all. Goodbye.